Fire smoke everywhere. That's usually all about the United States in this time of the year, June, July. Fires burning up everything. California is burning. Persons go and live in the forest. It's like a land grab. They're taking land away, building, like not from the Indians, not like from the Indians, like the California gold rush, not like that. But persons are building everywhere. And it's serious when you build in the forest. We have that same problem here in the Bahamas. Persons build in the forest and they don't understand the ecosystem. Before you build, you need to learn about your environment to know where to build. Learn everything about it. Now, what happened is, in this forest here, I'm showing you, I'm talking about the biodiversity of plants in the Caribbean pine forest. You got different species of trees. They call the Caribbean pine trees fireproof trees. They said it don't like to be clustered. As you can see in this forest now that I am in, it got a lot of trees around it. So, and you can see some of the trees are burned. The bark are burned and some are burned down. So, or burn up, right? So what happens is, it's important the fire starts. Now, normally our fires in the Bahamas starts about around the same time as the United States fires start around about January, but ours run roughly around about, and Andrews here, running roughly about June or so. Now, different parts of the Bahamas and New Providence, little August, Grand Bahama, a little bit more different, little later, but normally around about October that I am in now, and this is 2025, the fires have already ceased. There's no more fires burning here in Andros. Now, if you look at the barks of the trees, they play a very important part in the ecosystem. The bark of the trees, no two trees are identical. Just like you and I, we are not identical. We have different fingerprints. The trees have a uniqueness as a difference of the fingerprint. Now, in the shot, you see the Caribbean pine tree on one side, which is that, and you see the next tree, it look like a pinnacle. There, that is burned down. I have this like that for purpose because that also is in the shot. And that is burned down. That's completely burned down. And portion of, you can see a little bit of dirt on it, but it's not, the shot might not be as in terms of center. But because I'm doing this outside by myself right now, my cameraman is not here. And then when you're doing a podcast, it's like the public speaking, you have to wear more than one hat. Be able to do a lot of different things. So now, the Caribbean pine trees, which that tree here, let me see if I get a better shot at it. As you can see that there, that has, and I will see if I get myself in the shot so you can see that I am real. I'm not an AI. Right here. Now the tree is important. This here, each one of these are sheets, thin sheets that around the trunk of the tree. So it goes straight to the top. And what happens is fire starts. So when fire starts and it burns from the bottom, because under the bark of the tree has a resin. Once it's cut, just like if I chop my flesh, it bleeds. So this bleeds, and when this is young, when the tree is young, this has the resin is more clearer. And what happens is as it get older, and if it gets cut, it start to congeal, and it turns more orange, and it's got a nice aroma to it. But normally something else with Caribbean pine trees, when it burns, it normally burns so far. It don't burn no more than 6 feet. Now, one or two trees may get burned, the crown or the head may get burned off, and once everything it burns off, it normally dies. Like that one there, that one with the pinnacle, that is consumed. But normally they don't normally burn right up. They just burn it, and that's why they call it fireproof, because it comes right back. And as I tell you, under the bark here, it's black. But once it's moved, you see that's a brown piece here, and under the bark here. Yeah, and as you can see here, these are very thin sheets, and it's flammable. So the tree itself causes the fire, not necessarily the some people believe they call it the fern causes the problem, because normally around the Caribbean pine trees you normally have a lot of fern, and they believe that the fern causes the fire. No, the fern is used for fuel, but the tree itself causes its own fire. And from the heat of the sun and of the clouds and everything plays a very important part in the ecosystem. So once the tree is burned, the head don't burn. If the head burns, the tree normally dies. And then of course, everything will be broken down, everything will be rotten down. Termites will come and eat the tree, and everything breaks down and make more minerals and for the land. So it is a very important part looking at that. So this has been Blueprint Land Creation Podcast with your prophetic professor and lecturer. And so then around the tree, You can see there's other trees around here. This particular species of tree here, we call this a Seneca tree. This has a yellow little bulb that goes on top. And when it matures, it bursts into a lot of like a feather and just blows away. And it also produces a seed like a bean pod that hangs on the tree, and it's there. But we call it a Bahamas Seneca. But the scientific name, each tree has a scientific name. And if you try to call them scientific name and you don't know how to call them, you may say a bad word. So I try to give it the normal names that we call it, what the local people will be more familiar with. And so here, even with the Caribbean pine trees, they have their uniqueness. They have their uniqueness of why they are called Caribbean pine trees. And so, but if I call it a scientific name, you wouldn't know this. And it wouldn't make no sense. You may even fall asleep. And I don't want you to fall asleep. So now let's move on. There's some other species of trees here in the kingdom of the Caribbean pine trees. You may see the camera shaking a bit because I'm outside working by myself right now. Okay, we have a different species of trees here. This one here is called the poison wood tree. Now this is the young tree. Now this is like your poison ivy. This is a family of that. Now normally when the trunks get mature and old, it releases, just like how the carbon comes of the tree, it releases a black resin. And if you rub up against it and that get under your skin will start to turn out in blotches or bumps and so on. So, but this tree here, poison, but this also has a berry on it that comes like a yellow. Now you have to be careful of this tree because there are two species of trees that are similar. This one here, and also the gamalmi. They said that the gamalmi tree grows right next to it. And according to the environmentalists, and when I was a part of the Boyd class, they said that the two trees, because white-crowned pigeon is responsible for the two trees. But doing a lot of research in different locations, some places you don't see where poisonwood tree grows. You don't see no gamalmi tree. Gamalmi tree is a freshwater plant. Poisonwood trees is a saltwater plant. You can find them close to the seashore in certain areas, but you ain't gonna find no gamalmi tree. Gamalmi tree at least growing about 6 to 7 feet, and then the land have to be built up like about 3 feet deep or so. Then you may find them growing, but you ain't gonna ever find them growing right next to no salt water. They freshwater plants. They don't tell you that part of it. So this releases toxin out of the trees, out of the bark of the trees, and if it get under your skin, it could be a very serious thing. So the trees plays a very important part in the ecosystem. Everything, the fire burns down everything, underbrush, but everything grows back. Once the rain comes right back, everything grows right back. And the process keep repeating. It's a blueprint. It's a cycle, keep repeating. So no two are important. So again, this has been Blueprint Land Creation Podcast with your prophetic professor and lecturer, Wentworth B. Manson. See you next time.